Three threats, three continents, one undeniable trend. The global risk landscape is unraveling. This is Risk Signal, your weekly intelligence brief from Dominion Risk. I'm Zach, a former military intelligence analyst, now tracking high-impact threats and emerging security flashpoints worldwide. Let's get to work. Threat number 1. Israel launches Operation Rising Lion against Iran. On June 13th, at exactly 2:42 a.m. local time, Israel launched a coordinated multi-wave airstrike campaign on Iranian territory. They called it Operation Rising Lion. Primary targets: Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities at Natanz, Fordo, and Kandab Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) military bases. Ballistic missile stockpiles and radar installations. Result: over 78 confirmed killed, including senior IRGC officials and nuclear scientists. Critical damage to Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Fires across Tehran. Smoke plumes visible from miles away. Iran responded within hours. Dozens of ballistic missiles launched into Israel. Targets: Tel Aviv, Haifa, Jerusalem. Casualties: at least 3 killed, dozens injured. Israel's Iron Dome and U.S. missile defense systems intercepted several incoming salvos, but some got through. And here's the bigger picture. Iran's UN ambassador called the strikes a declaration of war. Brent crude surged 7% overnight. Global energy markets entered crisis mode. US G7 and Gulf states called for emergency diplomatic intervention. This isn't tit for tat. This is a controlled burn on the brink of wildfire. And one wrong move, one miscalculation, could ignite regional war across the Middle East, from Lebanon to the Strait of Hormuz. Threat number 2. Washington Post cyber espionage breach. While missiles lit up the skies overseas, a silent, precision strike hit Washington, D.C. On June 12th, cybersecurity teams at the Washington Post detected a targeted breach of internal email servers. The compromised accounts? Journalists covering U.S. national security, defense policy, and China. Investigators believe a foreign state-sponsored group infiltrated Microsoft email platforms used by reporters. Sound familiar? It should. In 2022, Chinese cyber units were linked to an espionage operation targeting journalists at News Corp. Now, it's happening again, likely with greater sophistication. Here's what this breach means. Source exposure. Confidential informants, possibly foreign dissidents or whistleblowers, could be unmasked. Intelligence harvesting. Adversaries may now possess advanced insight into upcoming investigative reports, U.S. defense strategy leaks, or diplomatic communications. National security threat. This is not a simple privacy violation. It's a potential counterintelligence breach. The Washington Post has launched an internal probe. Federal agencies, FBI, CISA, ODNI, are likely engaged behind the scenes. But let's be clear, this was not about ransom. This was about surveillance. And the target, free press operating inside the U.S. Capitol. This is hybrid warfare, keyboard over Kalashnikov. Threat number 3. Nigeria's Niger Delta sabotage attacks on oil infrastructure. Meanwhile, another front line ignited in Nigeria's oil heartland. In Bayelsa State, a wave of coordinated sabotage attacks targeted pipelines operated by Owando plc, one of Nigeria's largest domestic oil producers. Key assets struck: Tebedaba Brass 18-inch crude line, Ogboimbiri Obiobi 24-inch gas pipeline. Perpetrators? 2 militant groups, the Bakassi Liberation Army, ANI, the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta, a name security professionals remember from the 2000s. Why it matters. Nigeria is Africa's largest oil producer. These attacks halted exports to the Brass terminal. Daily revenue loss in the tens of millions. Environmental impact? Oil spills across fragile wetlands. And politically, it's a challenge to President Tinubu's energy reform agenda. This is not isolated. It's calculated, designed to disrupt Nigeria's oil recovery, test government resolve, and signal that amnesties don't buy peace forever. The Nigerian military is mobilized. Pipeline protection teams are active, but insurgency in the Niger Delta is a slow fuse, and it just got relit. Strategic assessment. 3 separate threats, 3 different regions, but one unifying truth. The world's fragile systems, energy, media, deterrence, are being probed and pressured on all fronts. This week was a warning shot. Next week could be a flashpoint. If you're in corporate security, threat intelligence, or risk management, you need to act, plan, and anticipate. Subscribe to Dominion Risk Intelligence. Hit the bell, share this brief with your team, and drop a comment below. What threat should we track next? And one final question to leave you with. When the next crisis hits, will you be reading about it or briefing your team before it happens?